Dating and partner selection has been a ritual performed in social space since the inception of humankind and was originally utilised for social involvement and as a means of solidifying kinship groups. Modernisation and the rise of individualism has brought about more agency for individuals in choosing their potential partners. So far as we understood modernity as corresponding with increased individual agency, online dating can be understood as an effect of these changes in social relations. One can also approach online dating from a technological determinist perspective, a term coined by Raymond Williams. But at its core, what is online dating? Barakat and Henry Waring defined online dating or e-dating as a new way of meeting new people through specific internet platforms. If we want to understand the modern phenomena of online dating, it is first important to recognise that it emerged from a long history of mediatised dating, and thus did not emerge independently within an office of a large corporation. One of the basic ways to sociologically understand online dating is using the sociological imagination, a term coined by C. Wright Mills in 1959. Mills stated that the sociological imagination was the vivid awareness of the relationship between experience and wider society. In other words, the intersection of biography and history allows us to understand the structural components of everyday experiences. From this perspective, individuals participating in online dating are following the institutional practices of their preferred dating site or app. Furthermore, we can also say that online dating cannot be understood in isolation from traditional dating practices. Already it is apparent that the biography of the individual cannot explain online dating practices. Rather, the history of online dating institutions and traditional dating practices must be understood in order to understand how this history intersects with and influences the biographies of online dating users. Whilst online dating has been around since the inception of the internet, in the past decade, smartphone dating apps facilitated a more convenient and more mobile option for people to romantically network. This video aims to analyse modern dating apps and sociologically explain how these apps have both modified old partner selection rituals and simultaneously creating new social norms.
Firstly, the sociological concept of homogamy explains that human attraction is often a result of the socialization between individuals who are in important cultural ways similar to each other. This can be based on socio-economic status, class, ethnicity, race, or age. Homogamy carries a long historical precedent as a form of assortative mating, which is present within both human activity and also throughout the animal kingdom. Experts believe that there is many reasons humans have formed relationships along the lines of homogamy. For example, couples in educationally or religious homogamous marriages share similar socialization experiences in at least one of society's major social institutions. These shared experiences can generate shared values and attitudes in a variety of spheres. The pioneers and writers of dating websites and apps allow users to select their partners based on certain categories, which they use to matchmake. Websites such as Match.com and OkCupid, RSVP, and eHarmony require a survey to be filled out by a participant to select suitable partners based on age range, gender, ethnicity, location, political preference, profession, etc. These apps, even without intention, solidify the concept of homogamy in humans. Participants of online dating end up selecting potential partners through the exact same socialization filter as meeting someone face-to-face. The wider consequence of an increase in homogamy due to online dating and the relationships it forms in society are, on one hand, divorce rates may decrease because partners may hold the same values. However, it may serve as an instrument to further class stratification and increases the possibility of political polarization. The long-term effects of dating apps and websites and the strict criteria that can be selected by users is yet to be proven. It may be many years before the results of this technological phenomenon can be measured in society, but what we do know is that they have the capability of sustaining rigid boundaries in the dating sphere.
Monogamy is a form of marriage whereby a person can only be legally married to one partner at a time. Monogamy is the norm for most of the modern Western world. Monogamy has long been the structural norm for relationships, largely due to morality, social constructs, and religious values. But monogamy has a long history of being questioned and challenged.
But maybe I was asking the wrong questions. Maybe I shouldn't be asking, what is wrong with me? Maybe I should be asking, what could be wrong with monogamy? So I started thinking about that. And what I think could be wrong with monogamy is the fact that we all take it for granted. Whenever we start and enter a new relationship, we automatically assume it's going to be monogamous. It's the default form of a relationship. It goes without saying, if you are in a relationship, it should be monogamous. But I don't think it's everybody's natural predisposition to be monogamous. I think a lot of people would like to be in a relationship and sometimes be allowed to, well, be with somebody else. But our society has developed in such a way that we, well, are all expected to exercise restraint and discipline to fit in.
Online dating as an entity of the social world has shifted the way that relationships are formed and acted. Whilst monogamy is still the overarching norm, deviance from this constructed rule has continued into modern dating apps and online dating websites. Modern dating apps have brought new opportunities for human agency and freedom. As a result, many individuals who may have decided to change their participation in the social construct of monogamy now have a convenient tool to do so. Thus, to understand it sociologically, the form of these new opportunities are not necessarily distinct from previous dating practices. Rather, these opportunities are simply more accessible. Tinder is currently the most used dating app of the modern age. After its invention in 2012, it's risen in popularity and now boasts a clientele base of more than 10 million active users per day and creates more than 15 million daily matches. Interestingly, it was researched by the Global Web Index that more than 30% of Tinder users are married and another 12% are currently already in a relationship. AshleyMadison.com is a dating site set up specifically for a platform for infidelity in marriage. AshleyMadison.com was launched in 2001 and as of July 2015 had 37 million users. Another medium for a platform of questioning monogamy is Thrinder. Thrinder is a smartphone app that's usership has been growing exponentially since its creation last year. It aids its users in finding like-minded individuals who are willing to take part in threesomes. Users have been recorded as sending more than 1.2 million messages a month and logging more than 4 million swipes. So whilst Thrinder is yet to become as popular as its technological counterparts, it is only in its beta phase and is yet to be released on such a developed platform. What these apps allow for is the questioning of social norms by its users and greater access to experimentation. Bordeaux, in his work Theory of Practice, recognised that social practice is a set of understandings by actors on the meaning of interaction. Actors make sense of actions differently and make decisions about their participation. However, once we get used to an activity, we naturalise it and stop analysing. So, are these individuals using dating apps fundamentally questioning the operation of the norm of monogamy in the society? On one hand, their participation in the rebellion against monogamy, as C. Wright Mills and the sociological imagination would have it, will have effects, however small or large, on the continuation of the social norm. But the leaks of AshleyMadison.com user data earlier this year displays that fundamentally, infidelity within a monogamous marriage is still frowned upon by Western society today.
The societal acceptance of non-binary genders has increased in recent years. We can observe this from more portrayals of homosexuality in mainstream media, more favorable public attitudes towards the members of the LGBT community, and most notably, the legalization of gay marriage in the United States in June 2015. As normalization of these gender minorities spreads further into the public sphere, one cannot deny that the contribution that the internet and online culture has had on their social acceptance. Online communities have been identified as safe havens for those who identify themselves as non-binary genders. With the internet shattering the temporal and geographical boundaries of communication, these subjugated members of the LGBT community were able to contact one another without the risk of public humiliation. Free from traditional means of societal prejudice and stigma, the LGBT community was able to find safe environments where these individuals could express their sexualities in non-physical spaces. However, despite wider social acceptance as well as the internet acting as a safe medium for communication, in the realms of mate selection and online dating, tools tools tailored towards non-binary gendered individuals have been lacking. Online dating apps such as Tinder do allow you to change your preference between males and females, but there is no representation of non-binary choices. Furthermore, while individuals are able to edit their sexual preferences between these two binary options, there is no clear way to indicate their sexuality. Hence, LGBT users still appear on the list of possible matches for other cisgendered users of Tinder. Grindr is one of the few tools tailored for use for homosexual men, and creates a medium for gay males to meet up, not unlike Tinder. However, the communities that Grindr creates are superficial at best. In reality, the vast majority of the Grindr community exhibits many symptoms of online disinhibition. Using anonymity to discriminate and reinforce social stigmas associated with homosexual men, the community is unlike the online communities observed elsewhere on the internet, which predominantly exists as non-physical spaces where individuals are safe to express their sexualities.
Whilst the majority of interactions that take place through online dating result only in short-term hookups, a minority of these interactions result in long-term relationships. This begs the question, is it possible for users in this minority to fall in love with their partners? Whilst it is impossible to define love with any degree of universality, according to the Slovenian social theorist and philosopher Slavoj Žižek,
love is an encounter. This is why in English and also in some other languages, not all, like French, you use the term fall. We fall in love. This is the eventual dimension. In what sense? Let's say you live a happy life. You are lucky, you have a job, you meet regularly with friends, you are not in love, you just make one-night stands, maybe here and there, you meet every evening with friends, you drink, you go to blah blah. Then all of a sudden, in a totally contingent way, let's say you stumble on the street, somebody helps you to stand up, it's a young girl or boy, blah blah, and of course, it's the love of your life. A totally contingent encounter, but the result can be that your whole life changes. Nothing is the same, as they say. You even spontaneously perceive your entire past life as leading towards this unique moment. You know, the illusion of love is, oh my God, I was waiting all my life for you. Something like this would have been the love event.
it is immediately apparent that the design of Tinder does not allow such an event to occur, as the interactions that occur within Tinder are structured completely upon subjective assessments of digital reproductions of human bodies. Enter Happen. Released in early 2014, the French mobile dating app connects users vis-a-vis their everyday normative practices. Upon first examination, it appears that Happen has resolved Zizek's critique of online dating. Its geo-tracking feature allows seemingly contingent events that occur between the two users as the conditions for which the two users can connect and make further exchanges. An event, for example, such as two joggers exchanging eye contact as they run past each other. Whilst this design does not follow the structured interaction of subjective image evaluations typical to apps like Tinder, it does require in the first instance the deliberate decision on the part of both users to install the app in the first place. As such, if users of Happen do engage in a retroactive reconstruction of their past, they can only do so up until the point that they made the decision to install the app, whereupon they were making a deliberate decision to engage in a form of partner selection in the future. Thus, upon arriving at this moment in the process of retroactive reconstruction, a seemingly contingent event that occurred, as in the case of the two joggers, is in fact not contingent, because it actually required the use of the app on the part of both users in order to connect with each other. This means that if we are to take Zizek seriously, we can reach the following conclusion: love is impossible in any form of online dating.